yeah. On overreactions, right? On overreactions, do you guys also think there is a bit of a similar being done with Victor Gyokeres because he didn't have great statistics against Liverpool in the opening game? Do you think too many people are writing him off too soon, or do you guys agree that, or do you hold the beliefs that he's just maybe not a Premier League player? And if not,
you know what?
I'm
glad that you brought that up, yeah, because me and Staffy have had conversations on the phone about this, yeah, where it's like, out of all the teams he could have gone to, looking at that style of play, that's arguably the worst team he could have gone to, bro, because they just don't play to his strengths, right? Again, people expecting Gyokeres to be playing like Isak or dropping like Jackson and, you know, getting on the ball like Pedro and getting on the ball like Ekitike. He's not that, right? He's not that. You need to be feeding this guy the way that KDB was feeding Haaland when he first came and they won the treble. That is what you need to be doing for this guy, bro, right? If you've got man just running about, you know, fighting people in duels and that, you're not gonna see the best of him. You know, the team needs to play for him. I saw the other day Cecil on AFTV saying, "Oh, he needs to adapt to the team and that." Bro, you brought this guy in, yeah, and you've spoken about many times how he's cool. How many goals this guy's scored? Over 90 goals in like two seasons or something mad like that, right? You've spoken about how Arsenal create chances, but we haven't got a finisher that can finish them, right? You've brought in Zubimendi, you've brought in Eze, yeah. You've still got Odegaard there, you've got Nwaneri there, you've got what's his name, Max Dowman and that there, right? It's the manager that I'm looking at more than anything, because with these sort of players, there should be a lot more fluidity in that team to help Gyokeres. Gyokeres should just be in and around that box, in and around that zone, finishing chances, sniffing chances to finish. Don't be asking man to be linking up play and doing all of these things, because he can't do it. He can't do it to the level that you want him to do it. He's not a Jesus, yeah? Jesus can actually get involved in the game and play, right? Gyokeres, he's just not that. So if you expected him to be that, clearly you didn't do your research, because he's not that, bro. He's a heavy guy, yeah? He's a heavy guy, but he's got a banger on him, and he will score.
Done. Every time I'm watching, I'm doing a watch along. This is what happens to my screen when Gyokeres runs. This is what happens. My screen just starts going like this.
You know what I mean?
I feel an earthquake, bro. The guy runs in Tim's doof, 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 doof. Bro, as you said, bro, just give him creators, bro. What is so difficult to understand? Look at him playing with Martinelli last game. Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness. I'll be honest, bro. Forget Gyokeres. If I had to play with Martinelli, I'd hate football. No, bro. There's no. You can't tell me there's one footballer out there that enjoys playing football with Martinelli. The guy's absolutely useless, bro. Just runs into dark alleys. He doesn't know what he's doing. Listen, bro. I have Gyokeres as my flop of the season. Terry, you know when KJ sent out the whole list for our predictions, I have him in my flop of the season, and I've been very consistent with it. I have an opinion for it. I do think he'll do decent for Arsenal. I just don't think he'll be under this manager. I don't think he's going to cater for him. He did add Eze, and I said that was the right signing at least. The tactics, I just don't think they have a fluid enough attack where it's going to enable this guy to do what he's best at. We've seen his trademark goal against Leeds, cut from the left, turn to the right, and hit it bottom corner. I don't think he's going to do a lot of that. I think he's struggling against United. He's struggling against Liverpool. And I think he'll struggle a lot in a lot of games this season when he's not given all that space to run into. I think the whole system is just, it's been my opinion for a while. I don't think it gets the best out of attackers. Me and Igal spoke about this a lot. He did say, but a couple seasons ago, we scored this amount of goals. Listen, based on this season, last season, the one before, I just think like it just became a lot more reliant on set pieces, on corners. There's a lack of creativity in the final third. There's a lack of idea. Their central progression hasn't been there. There's been major question marks about their creators. I'm seeing their manager go in with 3 DMs and have 3 10s on the bench. I don't think he'll have a great season. I think he comes in with big expectations. People think everyone is demanding him to score 20 plus. I just don't see a scenario where he does. I think he'll score goals. I think he'll score double-digit goals. I don't think he scores 20. Is it on him or is it on the manager? That's up to people to debate. I think, to me, he's an obvious flop of the season. I think Ekitike is better than him. I think Joao Pedro is better than him. He's more of a conversation, in my opinion, with Sesko than anyone else. Clip it. I have no problem. I said that multiple times. People think, like, when you clip it, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to go show it to my mother? Like, my mother's going to slap me? Like, oh, why'd you say that about your Chris? Bro, I don't give a fuck, bro. Clip.
Yeah, that's the thing, bro. That's the thing, though, Staffy. Like, when people still go on about that first year when they had
Or they think I'm going to court with that clip. Go ahead and clip me, bro. It's fine. It's a football opinion. I keep saying, you know what's crazy, bro? I keep saying, for me to have a football opinion on YouTube, I have to risk offending someone. Who is that someone? I don't care. If I don't give an opinion, then there you go. No one's going to say nothing.
That's the thing, though. Listen, they don't like uncomfortable conversations. They don't like it. They don't like it, Staffy. That's why they keep reminiscing about the good times when they were playing that fluid football and it was free flowing and was talking about how great they look with Jesus and Xhaka and all of these guys. Times have changed. I think we've seen enough of Arteta now to know that he's quite pragmatic, right? He's a pragmatic manager. He didn't learn from Pep. He learned from Moyes, bro. That's who he learned from. Yeah, he learned from David, bro. Yeah, and the only way he's gonna change my take on that is if he starts to use Eze in more central positions. You know, he starts to release the shackles off some of these guys a little bit more. I like what he's done a bit with Rice, where he's actually said, "Yo, allow the 8 thing. You are now gonna play in the pivot. That's your best position." Yeah. Oh. Look who it is.
Listen, man.
At the end of the day, hold on. Before you even come in, Before you even come in, I
don't think he can hear you on this one.
I'm looking at Arteta first before anyone this season, bro. Because I've criticized your style of play for a minute. Yeah, and your style of play, I'm sorry, bro. I've said many times, for me to prepare myself to watch Arsenal games, bro, I have to prepare myself mentally to watch that shit.
But you know something? Football games are supposed to be entertaining, but at this moment in time, Arsenal are still getting early in the season. We're trying to figure ourselves out. It's not a situation where you're going to see the best of us right away. It's a slow burn with this team.
How long do you think it will take then?
I think you also have to look at the level of opponent that we faced. It's always going to be ugly versus Manchester United away. It's always going to be ugly versus Liverpool away. Like the 3 games that we played to start the season, I feel like if you're judging us off those 3 games, it's not a good enough sample size.
No, we judged last season as well, Gal. We didn't just start this now. Don't do that, because that's what every Arsenal fan is doing. They love to think, bro, we only spoke about 3 games.
No, but I feel like you guys are speaking about 3 games, because when we're speaking about Gyokeres, you've only seen Liverpool, Manchester United.
I said it before he played
it, and immediately, because the level of opponent which Leeds is, you cancel that and you don't even look at that. So you're basically looking at the 2 away performances, which are 2 tough grounds to play away from. So I think every striker that comes into the league would struggle away at Anfield, struggle away at Old Trafford. Let's be honest, Ekitike, who's been killing it to start the season, struggled against Arsenal at Anfield. It wasn't easy for him. So we need to calm down a little bit and not jump to conclusions after 3 games. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't like that if we did the same thing with Sesko, or you didn't like that when we did that with
I don't think anyone. Yeah, but Egal, you're missing.
I feel like that's what people are doing, though. Yeah, maybe not you guys.
Yeah, not me. I haven't written them off.
It comes off like that when we start having these conversations after 3 games.
No, but people that are saying Gyokeres is shit and that, bro. I don't agree with these guys, right? Because I know what Gyokeres is. He's just a pure goal scorer. That's what he is. Yeah, it's like Haaland, bro. Like, these guys are not these technical footballers.
No, Haaland is more technical. Respect Haaland.
Haaland.
I think you guys are underestimating what Gyokeres can do.
What I'm saying, Staffy, is you can't put Haaland in the same category as Ekitike and Pedro. He's not.
No. I agree. But Haaland, as much as we say he's not an all-round footballer, he actually has more tech and he could pass the ball better than Gyokeres. I see at least every game. I
disagree. You haven't
every game from Haaland. I see him put one of his attackers one-on-one on goal every game now since the Club World Cup. And that's someone who, by the way, I used to criticize Haaland all the time. Ask Terry, what I used to say about him. He's limited all-rounded. When I'm sitting here and praising that he actually stringing some passes in the final third from someone who said he didn't do that, that shows me that I'm seeing shit I didn't see before.
Over last season, across all the leagues, all the top leagues in Europe, Gyokeres was the second most assists from a striker. So
and he also had he had like less than 5% passes into the final third. You do know that. Sorry, into the box, not the final third, into the box.
He's pretty good at that. You haven't seen enough of that at Arsenal. I do think we're jumping to conclusions based off of a small.
So when I point out your manager and your style, what's the issue here?
I don't think we are talking about the manager. We're talking about the player.
We are talking about your manager.
We're talking about one of the 2, Egal. If I don't think, I'll tell you this, Egal. If I don't think a player is going to work at a club, it's one of 2 things. He's either not good enough or the team is just not going to help him. I have to pick one of the 2. I think it's going to be more of the team than him. You can say it's 3 games all you want. Terry, please. I've been here for how long on Straight Facts? Can you tell me, Terry, a year ago, when we talk about Sesko and talk about Gyokeres, to United and Arsenal, what did I say? My opinion, which player should have went where? Can you please remind us?
The other way around, he thinks that Sheshko would kill it Arsenal and that Gyokeres would be better off going to Man United. He feels
So that was before the
around.
season even kicked off. I explained it stylistically. Everyone who keeps saying, but you said you want Gyokeres at United. United are a transition-based team. Gyokeres playing under transition, it suits him more. If he comes to United, look at the Burnley game. Wallah, if we had Gyokeres, he probably puts a hat-trick that game. Because they gave us so much space to run into, we just didn't have any clinical players playing up front that day. We didn't even have a 9. When I look at the style of play, Igal, you're way ahead of us in your stage as a club. You guys play way more position-based. You're way more dominant. You don't get afforded that space that United get. When I look at United, I said, you know what? I look at United as a team that's still not ready to hold the ball, a team that doesn't even have a midfield that's going to dominate a lot of possession, but we're going to be a good transition team. Who should I get in my team? Do I get a Sesko or do I get a Gyokeres? I thought Gyokeres fits us more. I looked at you, Sesko, someone who just wants to sit in the box, 6'5", physical as fuck, agile, and the kid likes to shoot. He doesn't score a lot of goals, but at least he shoots. When you do shoot, eventually you're going to get goals. I thought that fits Arsenal more. When people listen, I don't mind people not agreeing with me. I have no problem. It's the narrative that I watched 3 games and I came up with this opinion. I've been saying it for a year or less, obviously, but I've been saying it for months and months and months. Why would I change my opinion now that I'm actually watching the games and the games are suggesting that as well? By the way, Terry actually, me saying that about Sesko, I said Sesko most likely is going to flop at United. So people can even accuse me of agendas. When I thought my own striker was coming to me, I said, you know what, I like him, but he's most likely to flop. So it can't be agenda.
Staffy, I don't think you're off it when it comes to your point about the manager or the player, one of them. But we also have to realize that he's played 3 games. He's had 3 chances. He scored 2 goals. I'm not necessarily too concerned at this moment in time about the style of play because, one, we've just brought in
man added that penalty as a chance. You are.
Bro, you stole that penalty from Dalman, bro. Listen, bro, stealing penalties from a 15-year-old.
I'm saying he's had 3 shots, excluding the penalty. And he's had 2 goals in 3 games. Forget about the stats. It's a small sample size.
He looked like a mess. It's all right. It's all right, bro. It's all right to just say,
bro. Because I honestly, I have to go. This kid's crying. Sorry. I'm just gonna say this. When it comes to everything around Gyokeres and all these other players, the only thing that I'm looking at Gyokeres about is to finish off the chances that he does get. We as a team create a lot of chances throughout the season. You're gonna see there's going to be games where we create 7 or 8 chances. He's going to have opportunities to get hat tricks. It's just we did not have finishers in this team. We've had a lot of players who are silky, good at holding on to possession, good at playing in wide channels, good at playing all over the pitch like Jesus and Havertz, but we never had finishers. Now that we have a finisher, we're getting criticized because he can't do the job that Havertz and Jesus were able to do.
Before you go,
I think you guys have it all wrong. We have different profiles for different opportunities, for different needs. And in the case that it's not a Gyokeres game like Anfield away, we should maybe have Havertz or Jesus come in those kind of games.
Let me ask you a question, Legal. Is your central progression this season going to improve drastically?
100%, because we're going to have Eze and Odegaard playing more central, and we're going to have our width coming from our fullbacks.
Who comes at that midfield then? Because Rice is there, Zubi's there.
Eze is playing from the wide channel, but he's going to play in that wide half space, similar to like how you have like a Hazard or how you have other players from wide positions in. Sorry?
Calafiori is going to overlap.
You can have Calafiori overlap. You can have Hincapié overlap. It depends.
Okay. Cool. I'll hold you to that, bro. Because like I said,
guys, it's 3 games in. 10 games into the season. 10 games into the season, you guys won't be saying this anymore. Because
by the way, I predict them to score at least 16 goals.
Gyokeres' finishing ability will have him in and around the top goal scorers come the end of the season.
Is me saying he'll score 16 goals a bad shout?
I think he'll score more than that.
Okay, but I'm giving him at least I set a minimum of 16. So even when people say you're just being hateful, 16 goals I think is amazing.
16 is the same level as Havertz. I think he's better than Havertz.
You know, bro, I don't know how much better he is than Havertz. You know,
okay. I guess that's time for me to soon time up.
I'm just saying, man.
Now it's time for me to shoot, man. I ain't a bit, man.
I feel like Igal is like the Somali Stone Cold Steve Austin. He just crashes the stream every.
Dude, you know what's funny? I'm in the process of making an intro for Igal when he comes in, and you can't play the Stone Cold music. But I found one that's like it, and it comes into glass. Because he comes in like Stone Cold to these things. There's a few super chats here. First one says, if Arteta systemizes Eze, we should never
Are we sure
Oh,
systemizes is
word.
a word? Hold
A
on, let's
word.
before we move on.
Systemizes.
Systemizes is a word.
I'm
No,
gonna
we're
Google it.
creating words now.
What a word! What a word, bro. My sister
Okay. It sounds like it be true. I just don't know if it is. I want to double check before we move on.
Systemizes. No, yeah, hang on.
Is that actually a word?
Systemize is a word. Systemize means what does it say? Another term for system. Okay, there's another word for
Apologies, the nines.
another word for systematized, which means arranged according to an organization's system, make something systematic. Right? Yeah. it is
Hold
a
my
real
hand
word.
up.
Yeah, it's
Apologies.
Yeah.
English isn't my first language, so I'm sorry.
Listen, no, but I've never heard anyone use it before, so that happens a lot. If you've ever listened to like Russell Brand talk, so I would say every time I've ever listened to him talk, I've had to pause it and go, I need to search that word because he says words, and I go, what the fuck does that mean? I love that though.